Is it undercover canvassing? This chapter is about an advertising method that some people call an undercover way of getting the word out about your business, but it's also truly effective. You may have seen this term used in conjunction with political campaigns, and in fact, that's one of the most common reasons to employ canvassing. However, this technique can also be used effectively for guerrilla marketing. Canvassing refers to advertising that reaches out to a group of target consumers, usually in the same geographic location on an individual level. A simple example of a canvassing campaign would be a new pizza place sending its employees out with a stack of flyers to be left on or under as many doors in their delivery area as possible. Here are some other canvassing techniques. You could do door to door introductions. Think Jehovah Witnesses here. Or you could parking lot flyers doing distribution, sidewalk or mall sampling, or finally telephone campaigns. Though there is some monetary expense involved in most canvassing campaigns, usually to print the materials you plan to distribute, this type of marketing can be both inexpensive and effective. There are three stages to a successful canvassing campaign: planning, preparation, and distribution. Get yourself a plan. This, of course, is the most important. You have to plan the materials themselves, and you also have to determine the distribution area or method that will be most effective for you and your business. For a local business, you will of course be interested in canvassing locally. You can distribute flyers door to door. Be sure to check your area's laws before you start passing out materials this way. Hang them on community bulletin boards or telephone poles. Again, be sure to check with local ordinances here, or plan an area mailing campaign. You can also make arrangements with other local businesses to hand out your materials. That is, flyers, business cards, brochures, and bookmarks, just to name a few, in exchange for advertising for them. If you have materials available, be sure to stay alert in regards to community events that may attract your target market. If your business is primarily online, your canvassing area will consist of websites and forums your target customers frequent, as well as individual emails. Be sure to do your research and have a list of these places along with the methods you can use to attract interest there: banner ads, forum membership, guest blogging, articles, newsletters, etc. When planning your materials, make sure you spend some time getting them as attractive and interesting as possible. Comb your wording for spelling and grammatical errors. Not only can these make for a bad first impression to customers, but they can also end up with some unintended consequences. As an extreme example, imagine what would happen if Motel 6 chain missed a typo and launched an advertising campaign for Motel Sex. Your mistakes may not be as outrageous, but if you make a mistake in your advertising materials, your customers will be more likely to remember you for your mistakes than the quality of your products or services. Also, make sure your material is exciting and compelling. Remember USP? Take the aspect of your business that sets it apart from your competitors and emphasize it in your marketing copy. If you can come up with a catchy phrase or slogan, a recognizable icon, or a fun play on words that describes your business, this short and sweet message can go a long way on your materials. Make sure that you're prepared. Once you've decided on your materials, you have to create them. If you are sending out a small batch of flyers, business cards, or brochures, you may be able to make them yourself with a high quality printer. A commercial printer is usually more economical for larger quantities. Places like Staples and Kinko's have become more affordable than ever, and there are several other competitive online companies like Vistaprint.com to choose from as well. You will need to supply the printer with a file to print from. With the proliferation of desktop publishing software, you will likely be able to design the materials yourself. However, be sure to invest a lot of time and make it a professional presentation. If you don't feel confident in creating great looking and sounding promotional material, you may want to consider hiring a freelance designer or copywriter. You'll pay a one time price for material you can use over and over. Get the message out to the masses. This refers to actually getting the material to your customers. You can distribute flyers yourself or enlist volunteers to help. Volunteers, partners, or anyone who's willing to spend some time helping you promote may be willing to stand in high traffic areas like malls or transportation terminals and hand out your material. You may be mailing out your materials, in which case your distribution involves a trip to the post office. If you're partnering with another local business, you'll simply have to drop off a stack of materials with them. If you plan an online canvassing campaign, it's a good idea to try and coordinate the various venues and have them hit within the same time frame. Multiple banners, ads, articles, forum posts, blog entries, and emails that reach your target audience more than once will help to reinforce your business in their minds and help them remember you the next time they need your product or service. So, one, canvassing is any marketing method that reaches multiple consumers on an individual basis. Two, there are many forms of canvassing, including flyer and brochure distribution, sampling, telephone, or door to door marketing and online campaigns. Three, canvassing is most effective when you have researched your target market demographic and can access a number of them in the same area. 4. Other businesses make excellent canvassing partners since you can reach all of their customers without much effort. 5. Canvassing relies on a strong message and well written material to achieve its results. And finally, in summary, distribution. It's the final step of canvassing, can take place in person, online, or through a third party. Now you know about an advertising method that everyone from a local flower shop all the way to the President of the United States use. Make sure that you keep this one in mind for your next promotion. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about visual advertising. Signage. Little introduction is needed for the concept of signs, but it definitely bears mention in this book because it's a powerful way to get fast exposure. Signs are everywhere. A good sign can be a great tool for your business, and in true guerrilla marketing style, it doesn't have to cost much. A sign is any at a glance advertisement for your business. They range in size from matchbook covers to billboards and can be found in a wide variety of locations. Signs are familiar to just about everyone because there are so many of them. Unfortunately, this means people often overlook them. If you want to use signs as part of your guerrilla marketing campaign, there are two important factors you need to consider: design and placement. 1. Visual appeal. Creating an effective sign means making it stand out from its surroundings and giving it some individual and memorable characteristics. At the same time, you have to strike a balance between information and clutter. You may want to consider hiring a professional designer. As with printed advertising materials, the one time investment often proves worthwhile since you can use the design over and over again. However, if you feel confident that you can create your own signs, here are some tips for effective design. 1. Make sure it's legible from the distance most people will view it. At the least, you'll need to include your website and phone number. But if no one can read your sign, they won't contact you for more information. 2. Speaking of information, don't include too much. The object of a sign is to get people interested in learning more about your business, so don't attempt to close a sale with just your sign. 3. Apply the KISS principle. Keep it simple, silly. Elaborate designs and excessive wording will distract rather than attract attention. Ideally, your sign should contain 3 to 10 words in addition to your contact information. 4. Include a grabber element, either a strong word or phrase in large text or an intriguing image or company logo. 5. Pay attention to your color scheme and make sure they're contrasting enough to stand out so everything is easily legible. Some excellent color combinations include black on white, black on yellow, white on black, yellow on black, and blue on white. Finally, what is not there is just as important as what is. You should incorporate approximately 30 to 40% of white space, not necessarily white, but space with no words or images on it, in the overall design of your sign. And number 2, location, location, location. So after you design your sign, you'll need to figure out where to put it. Of course, there are traditional places, billboards, storefronts, bulletin boards, and the like. You can also get creative and find other places or venues for your signs. Here are 4 ideas. 1. Restroom signs are becoming more popular. Some businesses will allow you to advertise in their bathrooms, and one creative company has actually placed advertisements inside men's urinals with some success. 2. Roadside placement. Got a house on a road with decent foot or vehicle traffic? How about friends in prime locations? Try placing a sign in your front yard and recruiting friends to do the same. 3. Check with community event coordinators. You may be able to place signs at bake sales, fundraisers, and other local happenings. And finally, consider swapping signage space with other businesses in your area for greater exposure. So here's a quick wrap up. Those signs are associated with traditional advertising. They can be part of a successful guerrilla marketing campaign. 2. A sign is any at a glance advertisement for your business. 3. Design and placement are the 2 key elements for successful signs. And finally, create sign placement can boost your sign's effectiveness, so be creative. The next chapter focuses on a bit of a weird but extremely results oriented advertising method, so don't miss this one.